The Constitution. Last I left off, I got the entire ship painted in its base coat. I got the JT Graphics custom Bussard parts on, and that's the ones that go all the way around. And I got the clear domes on too. For the inside of the clear dome, I basically left it the base color of the ship and took, just for example, Mr. Detailer, a black wash, and just did a wash on the parts on the inside. You really don't have to go too much in depth in painting that, because the tinted clear domes obscure the paint job, so it just looks like there's basically detail in there. The clear domes are basically Tamiya clear orange, just airbrushed on the inside. And I'll show everyone. There you go. If I can hold it steady. Guess not. Anyway, that's what I get for trying to take. That's what I get for taking the battery snap off. But anyway, it lights up, so that's all that matters. Waiting for the super glue to dry, because I didn't use any accelerator, and I'll go back in and I'll start painting the little custom parts and put a little wash on there. If you can see real closely on the hull, there's actually some of the grid line left. I actually did that on purpose. It's very faint. You have to really like get up on it to see it. And I did it this way, where most of the time paint will take care of the fill in the grid lines after you get done sanding. But I got decals for the grid line, and I'm actually left a very faint trace of it, because this will actually be a guide for me when I put the decals on. So I will show you all that in a few days. I gotta let most of this dry. So I can go in with Future, and I basically put 3 or 4 coats of Future on, because the whole top part here is going to be nothing but decal. But I got to mask off the forgive me, the intercoolers, I guess, in here on the nacelles, and paint them a lighter, darker gray. And I got the arms painted, and then once I get them masked and painted off and get the mask removed, then I can put the arms on. And then basically future, and just do some detail painting, and then basically decals after that. But I was hoping I could hold my tongue right here, and we can show you what it looks like lit up. And I can somewhat do it. And doing it that way with the wash on the inside of the Bussards, I think it gives it just a subtle look. And plus, I got lights on, so when you start dimming the lights, it'll give it a nice, good glow effect and everything. You see the hull lit. And it just makes it look very, very cool. But more on that later. The Colonial One, not really too much to report on that. I'm basically putting a base coat of flat black on the other parts, then I'll start painting the base coat. Went ahead, and I don't like to use gloss paint. I just don't care for it. But I went ahead and used it on this, and this is basically just to spray a base coat on, fill in any gaps or scratches that I had when I sanded for the sail and everything else on here. The windows fit pretty good. I'm going to have to take a little tulip and basically blend it in the hull. But I did get it masked off, and then once I basically get the base coat on, I'll go in, rip the mask off the clear parts, and then basically go in and hand paint the window frames. That's just the easiest. I didn't want to start masking off that small of an area. Just, I don't know if I could do it, but it's just more of a, you know, just too small to do it, and it's just easier just to paint a white line for the little window frame, and you're done. So hopefully a couple more coats, get that all fixed up. I'll go in depth later on and explain. I'll have to fix this part right here. This is about the only part of the kit I didn't care for, is the landing skid, but I'll explain that later on. And once I get the base coat on, and I can start getting the presidential blue colors on and ready to rock and roll, and get that on a stand too, so it'd be easier to move around and paint. The Jackson, I got the 411 on the davits. The owner of flagshipmodels.com, he gave me the info on the davits. The davits actually can be either way. You can have it on the outside like I have it now, or on the inside, because these actually could pivot and swivel around. So when they were not in use, they could flip them around, and then when they ready to use them, they could flip them out. However that works, but that's the way he said it, so there it is. That's the history lesson for today. So what I did so far is, after I moved the davits on the outside, which I do like it this way, it gives it more of a, it ain't symmetrical, it's kind of asymmetrical. Just makes the, just more unique, if you will. Breaks up the monotony. I went ahead and just put a couple dabs of super glue, shot some accelerator on there, and they actually hold pretty well. So I'm down to the oars and a couple other little things. Now I'm down to adding the rudder, and I got to add this rudder part right through here, and then add the propeller. And I'll do that hopefully later on the day, tomorrow, so I can get that on, and then tape off the base, and I can shoot some primer on it. And then I got to do a little bit of research. I got to look at a couple other fellow modelers who paint ironclads and see how they went about it, because this is actually one of the first ones I have ever done. So it is a learning experience and very, very fun. And thanks to Rod, I got me some new bases. I got some projects that I need some bases for, and I'll show them off in due time for some personal projects that I've had laying around for a while. But anyway, these are just exquisite. Love them to death. So thank you, Rod, for those. Working on the Jackson. Constitution still in dry dock, but we are getting closer and closer to getting her done. And we're working on the Colonial One. So stay tuned for the next exciting episode.